Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. I thought we'd start out this week with something that you guys probably all have at home, which is a ballpoint pen. I have a fancy one that has 4 different color inks on it, but any ballpoint pen will do. I've been following an artist whose name is Nicholas Sanchez on Instagram for a while. I'm gonna link that in the Google Classroom. But he does amazing portraits and pictures with ballpoint pens. And so I've just kind of been inspired by that. I had some time on my hands last week and did this drawing just from the many bottles of disinfecting things I have near me at all times. So I thought we'd start out with just some different techniques, because if you're going to be drawing with pen and ink, it's not quite the same as pencil, and shading is different. So I have just a regular, you guys have seen 1,000 of these composition books here, and I'm going to show you guys how to practice doing dark to light and blending things with pens if you have them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out a couple bars, because there's several different ink techniques you can use to create dark and light values in your drawings. So the first one is called hatching, and that's when you use lines all in one direction, and the more you overlap them, the darker it's going to be. And of course we're starting out darker here, like I usually do in class, and lighter here. So trying to fill out this whole space. So I want to bring my dark values up. And I want to make sure I'm being consistent and neat at the same time, so paying attention, it's not just blind scribbling. You want to make sure you're controlling the pen, making sure that the lines are all in the same angle. It's going to have a different look than shading with pencil. It's using pen kind of adds a texture to it as well, so it looks like it's not going to be smooth like when you shade with a pencil. And then as you get down here towards, don't be surprised if your hand starts to cramp up, because mine's starting to. You're going to start with less pressure and the lines spread out farther apart. All right. The next one is actually, so this is hatching. This is cross hatching. All right, so that's when you do the lines all in one direction, and then you crisscross the lines. And again, make sure you've got your dark values are clearly dark. Now, in my own experience with pen or ink, it's very easy to go overboard and do too much. And once you do that, it's really hard to get it lighter again because it's not like a pencil and you can't erase it. Yeah. Change the angle of the paper here. And I don't care what paper you use for this. I don't care if it's the back of something else that was used. It doesn't matter to me at this point. I know not everyone's got art supplies on hand. I will tell you that Dollar Treasure, which was still open last week, has this pen was $1. This sketchbook was $1. And they have a lot of stuff like that that you can get. They've got paintbrushes. They've got, I think they have colored pencils, but I'm not sure about that. So they have a pretty good selection of pretty decent art supplies that you can definitely use. The next one is called, actually I don't know what it's called. I'm going to call it Scribble. And it's where you just continue to overlap. Your scribbles. Again, controlled scribbling, not blind doing whatever you want. You've got to control your pen and make it consistent. Because if you don't, it doesn't look right. It just looks like you're blindly scribbling. Again, you want your dark areas to be really dark. The more you fill that in, the less white that's showing through, the darker it's going to appear. I really actually like this one the best, personally. I like the texture. Notice I'm not scribbling through the whole thing all at once. I'm doing it just like I would be shading with a pencil. I'm doing it in increments, letting up on my pressure. Alright, so those are 3 techniques, and what I want you guys to do is practice these techniques, come up with a few of your own patterns, see what you can come up with. Alright, so those are for you. I think that's all I have to show for you today. And more directions will be in the Google Classroom. Have a good day, guys.